Absolute heart-in-your-mouth chaos broke out at physical practice today as wide receiver superstar Luther Burden went down clutching his leg and had to be helped straight off the field. Just as the hype was reaching a boiling point, our top playmakers and entire defensive secondary are dropping like dominoes in what feels like an all-out battle of attrition. Are we on the verge of witnessing a dynamic breakout season, or is the injury bug going to dismantle this team's massive potential before the regular season even kicks off? If you live and breathe football and never want to miss a single second of breaking news, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel right now. Look, I am sitting here writing this with my hands trembling because today's padded practice at Halas Hall gave us the absolute highest of highs and the scariest of lows. We have to talk about the headliner right away, because the moment this happened, every single fan in the country held their collective breath. During an intense, contested one-on-one drill, our electric rookie wide receiver Luther Burden tangled up in midair with defensive back Tyrique Stevenson. Both guys went up, both came down ridiculously hard, and immediately, you could feel the entire atmosphere at practice shift from high energy to dead silence. Stevenson got up limping and visibly banged up, but Luther Burden couldn't even stay out on the field. He was limping severely, clutching his upper leg and hip area, and had to be escorted directly to the training room alongside head athletic trainer Andre Tucker. When you see a guy who might legitimately end up being the single most explosive weapon on this entire offense limping off the field, panic is the only natural reaction. You start asking yourself, how can a team build any real momentum when its biggest stars are constantly taking massive hits in practice? Now, let's take a collective deep breath and look at the facts before we all go completely off the deep end. The somewhat encouraging news is that Luther was able to walk off under his own power without requiring a cart, which gives us a glimmer of hope that we are dealing with a severe bone bruise or a hard impact tweak rather than a devastating structural ligament tear. When you come down awkwardly from that height, taking a hard hip-to-ground impact, it hurts like absolute hell. But let's not sugarcoat it either. He did not return to practice, and when a cornerstone piece like Burden misses snaps, it sends shockwaves through the entire organization. We need everyone throwing up positive energy right now, because Luther Burden is the spark plug that makes this explosive passing game tick. As if the scare with Burden wasn't enough to give every fan severe chest pain, the situation in the defensive backfield has officially reached absolute red alert status. It is a straight-up war zone back there right now. Tyrique Stevenson, to his credit, managed to tough it out after that brutal collision. He stayed on the sidelines, fought through the pain, and actually came back out for the final end-of-game scenario drills, which shows you the incredible grit this guy possesses. We definitely need that toughness, because Stevenson is slated to be our primary starting boundary cornerback, and with the rest of the secondary crumbling around him, losing him for any extended period would be catastrophic. Just when you thought the secondary couldn't take another hit, veteran Cam Lewis went down in the closing minutes of practice. Lewis was filling in at safety and made an absolute monster play, breaking up a deep pass intended for Rome Odunze in the end zone. But immediately after hitting the turf, Lewis came up hobbling, limped heavily off the field, and never returned. It is just agonizing to watch. Remember, Lewis was already filling in because Kobe Bryant suffered a severe knee injury earlier in camp that is going to keep him out for 8 to 10 weeks, while Kyler Gordon continues to deal with a frustrating calf injury. We are literally watching our secondary depth get wiped out in real time. With the secondary completely decimated, the front office had no choice but to execute a series of emergency roster moves today just to ensure we have enough functional bodies to run practice. The team officially waived 2 defensive backs with injury designations, former draft picks Casey Eziamium and Javarius Owens. Owens suffered a brutal leg injury during a punt drill earlier in the week and had to be carted off, making it impossible for him to compete. If both guys clear waivers, they will revert to season-ending injured reserve or eventually agree to injury settlements. To fill those vacant roster spots, management brought in 2 new defensive backs, signing veteran safety Brandon Hill and rookie free agent cornerback William Wright. Now, let me break down what these new additions actually bring to the table. Brandon Hill was a 7th-round draft pick by the Houston Texans back in 2023. He has real NFL experience, primarily making his mark as a core special teams contributor down in Houston. Because the Texans boasted one of the absolute deepest secondary units in the league, Hill couldn't carve out consistent defensive snaps, but he knows the speed of the professional game. Given how battered our safety group is right now, Hill actually has a legitimate opportunity to step in, make a push during these remaining weeks of camp, and secure a spot on the bottom end of the 53-man roster. As for William Wright, he comes in as an undrafted free agent out of the University of Tennessee. He played in 45 career games for the Volunteers, tallying 28 tackles and 2 interceptions. While Wright looks more like a classic training camp body who will have to scratch and claw for a practice squad spot through special teams play, his signing proves just how desperate this team is for healthy secondary reps. This brings us directly to our official question of the day, and I want every single one of you to jump into the comment section right now and weigh in on this. With injuries rapidly crippling our secondary and key playmakers getting banged up, should the front office stay patient and trust these new bargain signings and young rookies? Or is it time to pull the trigger on a major splash trade or veteran free agent contract before it's too late? Drop your thoughts, hot takes, and predictions in the comments below, because I am reading every single one of them. With veteran safety Xavier Woods officially added to the mix to stabilize the safety spot until guys heal up, the coaching staff was forced to throw some intriguing young names into the fire today. Rookie cornerback Malik Muhammad saw a massive increase in first-team reps operating out of the nickel position. Honestly, I love Muhammad's upside as an outside physical corner, but seeing him jump inside and instantly pull off an impressive pass breakup on one of his very first reps with the starter group is extremely encouraging. If Malik Muhammad can flex his versatility and prove he can lock down the slot while Kyler Gordon and Cam Lewis are sidelined, it turns a nightmare injury situation into a massive developmental win. Meanwhile, Jalen Johnson continues to look like an absolute superstar, locking down his side of the field every single day without missing a beat, and rookie safety Dylan Thieneman is getting invaluable top-tier reps with the first-team defense. The injury updates didn't stop with the defensive backs either. On the offensive line, starting left tackle Braxton Jones and star pass rusher Montez Sweat were both held out of practice today after getting dinged up earlier in the week. Fortunately, either injury is considered severe, but their absence opened the door for Jedrick Wills to swallow up the vast majority of first-team reps at left tackle today. We're also keeping a close eye on the secondary rotation with Terrell Smith, Jalen Jones, and DeMarco Jackson all missing time. On top of that, wide receiver Curran Hudson had to leave practice early alongside a trainer to get his legs stretched out, and was unable to finish the session. It really feels like every time you look up, another player is heading toward the medical tent. Despite all the injury drama hanging over Halas Hall, the actual football on the field provided some absolutely jaw-dropping highlight reel moments that should have every fan bouncing off the walls. Rookie tight end Colston Loveland was an absolute monster during 7-on-7 drills, completely dominating the middle of the field and hauling in 3 touchdown passes in a single session. Loveland is proving to be an impossible matchup for linebackers and safeties alike, establishing himself as a lethal red zone target. Not to be outdone, fellow tight end Sam Roush had a career day of his own, matching Loveland by catching 3 red zone touchdowns during team period. Roush has taken a massive leap forward this week, and if he continues to catch everything thrown his way, his role in this offense is going to be significantly larger than what we saw from our depth tight ends last season. We also saw second-string quarterback Tyson Bagent execute a flawless 2-minute drill late in practice, capping off a clutch drive with a beautiful touchdown strike to Jody Walker. But the undeniable play of the day belonged to our elite passing connection on 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. Franchise quarterback Caleb Williams scrambled out of the pocket, bought precious time against a heavy pass rush, and launched an absolute rainbow toward the back corner of the end zone. Rome Odunze tracked the ball, leaped over 2 defenders in tight coverage, and dragged his toes to secure an incredible, mind-blowing touchdown catch. That play alone showcases the unbelievable, sky-high ceiling of this offensive unit when everyone is clicking. At the end of the day, training camp is always a high-stakes emotional roller coaster. We got to witness electric touchdown drives from Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, and Colston Loveland, but we are also left holding our breath waiting for official medical updates on Luther Burden and Cam Lewis. If Burden's injury does end up being something that requires real time off, knock on wood that it isn't, you have to wonder if management will pick up the phone and look at bringing in a proven veteran like Keenan Allen for insurance. But for now, we stay optimistic, we stay loud, and we pray that these guys heal up fast. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Make sure you smash that subscribe button before you go so you don't miss our next emergency update dropping later tonight. Keep the faith, stay passionate, and as always, bear down.